Written and directed by Ari Aster, Hereditary is a horror drama that stars Toni Collette, Milly Shapiro, Alex Wolff and Gabriel Byrne. I've been very excited to check this movie out ever since it was first announced by A24 that it was distributing it. A24 has become a pretty great distributor over the past few years with great films like Enemy, Under the Skin, and that alone had me excited for Hereditary. And then I saw that it was directed by Ari Aster, and the name rang a bell, and I checked it out, and he was the director of The Strange Thing About the Johnsons, which is a short film almost half an hour long, which is one of the best ones I've ever seen. It is an incredible short, very dark, very funny and disturbing in its own kind of way. And honestly, Hereditary is not all that different, because this film, like many people have said, this film is mostly a family drama. A grandma has died and the family is falling apart, especially her daughter, played by Toni Collette, who is married to a man who is kind of absent, who has a young teenage son who is very lost and confused, and a daughter who is very creepy and weird. And some crazy shit starts to happen, and boy, what a film! This is, as I've said to many of my friends, 2018 has been kind of a slow year for movies. There have been some good ones, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't quite packed the punch that 2017 did as of right now. But Hereditary and You Were Never Really Here, those two films right now are easily the only truly great, excellent masterpieces of the year. And Hereditary is... it's the horror movie that I've been wanting to watch, to actually get, if it makes sense, for a longest time. This is a film that is focused on characters from the very beginning. It sets them up. You understand their psychology, you understand their history, and it isn't overly expository. You actually get a real sense of history between all of them in how they interact, in what they say. You also get masterful camera work with wide shots, longer takes. The whole film was the whole house of the Graham family. It was built in a set so they could remove walls and have wider shots and do some very nifty camera tricks. You get amazing cast. Everyone brings their A game. You got Toni Collette, who she deserves this Academy Award that she will most likely get come 2019, because she delivers a multitude of emotion this film. She plays a grieving mother who has lost just too much in the past and in the present, who is going through a tough time. And in this film you empathize with her, you are afraid with her, you are scared of her, because she goes to some very dark places in this film, very disturbing places, as well as the other actors. And Alex Wolff, I haven't really seen him in anything. He's been kind of around more recently, but this is a standout performance. Everyone in this film is very real, believable, with great attention to detail in how they look to other people and how they act in each scene. It speaks volumes, and it's the little details. I'm a big fan of the little details, if you don't know, like even in Phantom Thread. I love these films where just a stare, a glance, a simple word could mean everything to a character if they understand it. It's... I love it to death. And Milly Shapiro, or Shapiro, whatever, who plays the young daughter, wow, that's an instantly iconic horror movie character, horror movie child, up there with Damien from The Omen, because wow, she has those, not only the look, which is already recognizable with the orange sweater and the clacking noise that she does throughout the whole film, but as a performance, there are multiple depths to it. And the thing about this film is that you can view it as a metaphor, which it kind of is, of grief in a family, of inheritance, of diseases, of problems, the sins of the fathers, everything coming down to the children and the grandchildren. And that was disturbing. Like, I think everyone is afraid of becoming like their parents. And we do everything that we can to become as different from them as we can, but we either become so much different that we kind of ruin our lives, or we just end up becoming the exact same person, doing the exact same mistakes. That is something that's pretty scary. It's on a human level, and you feel it in this film, you do feel it. But this film can also be taken literally, because there are some fucked up things that happen, and the director said, yeah, there isn't necessarily some deeper meaning and metaphorical meaning to some of those things. Those things happen in the realm of the movie, and that's fucked up as well. The whole film is a constant build-up. It doesn't have jump scares, it doesn't have cheap thrills. It keeps on building up dread from the very first shot. And I watched this in the cinema with around 50 other people. We were all holding our breaths during this film, and I started feeling like this tension building up in my chest, and I was loving it in the worst way possible, because it was insufferable. Like, I wanted this film to end, and I know that a lot of people are gonna say, but it wasn't that scary. Horror is subjective, what scares you, what doesn't scare you. This film fucked me up for good. It has not only some disturbing imagery that it's hard to get out of my head, especially two things, all head related, but it goes to some dark places, also emotionally speaking, where I started to gasp for air constantly during this. It was masterfully done, masterfully, and the only real negative, if I can call it a negative, is the ending, which many people haven't liked, have disliked, and have said that it ruined the entire film for them. I actually knew the ending because of a fucked up non-spoiler review which spoiled the ending, so I hate that guy now. But knowing how the movie ended actually helped me understand some aspects better the first time around already. There's some great foreshadowing, there's some great setups that actually pay off in the end. And the ending itself, had it been silent without the final monologue, perfect, absolutely, it would have been a top 50 favorite movies of all time, I'm not kidding. It's that good for me, remember, for me. Maybe not for you, but for me it is. But boy, I still really dug the ending, really dug it, especially because the director himself said it has to be taken literally, because that's what happens. And I kind of admire that, because we get so many like, oh, the hidden meaning of the film. No, that's what happens. It's pretty self-explanatory in itself, so I appreciate that, Mr. Aster. But still, guys, I have to say, Hereditary, probably the best movie of the year, together with You Were Never Really Here, easily the best horror that we're gonna get. Already an instant favorite for me. Great soundtrack, great sound design, which is just as disturbing as the visuals, excellent cinematography, fantastic acting, and a story that is very deeply layered in terms of themes, but also just very fucked up beyond belief. So guys, have you actually watched Hereditary, and do you like or do you dislike it, and do you agree with me with my love, with my appreciation for this film? So I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are, and if you're gonna talk spoilers, put a spoiler warning for other people. Thank you. So guys, thanks for watching. To like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.